This video is going to cover Unit 25-4, Radian Measure. So, we already know that one way to measure an angle is with degrees. There is another unit called a radian that we can also measure an angle with. Now, comparing degrees to radians is similar to comparing like feet to meters. It's the same distance, it's just another unit that we're using. Okay? So, 1 radian is when you have the arc. So if I've got the arc from B to A is equal to the radius from O to B and from O to A. If the distance from O to B and O to A is the same distance from A to B, then that means that this angle right here is 1 radian. Okay? So when the radius of a circle equals the arc that is subtended by this angle right here, then that angle is 1 radian. All right? So, we can convert between radians and degrees. First, let's take a look at what's going on with this circle. So, if I draw a straight line, a diameter right here, right there, like that, this angle from here to here is 180 degrees. That angle is also pi radians, rad. Okay, so these two angles, or this one angle, sorry, is measured in these two different units, 180 degrees and pi radians. And we know pi is close to 3.14. So pi is an actual number, not a variable. Remember that. 3.14-ish. So, once again, 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. So what we can do is we can set up a rate here that we can set proportional to another rate. So I can say 180 over pi is equal to degrees over radians. All right, so how would I use this? Let's say I've got an angle that is 60 degrees, and I want to find out how many radians that is. So I come over here, and I set it up like this. 180, these are my two rates that I'm going to compare it to, is equal to, and I set this rate up over here, degrees is there, degrees matches up with degrees, 180 degrees and 60 degrees, and then pi to radians. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply. Pi times 60 is equal to 180 times r. Now r is what we're looking for, so I'm going to divide both sides by 180. So I'll say that r is equal to 60 over 180 pi. And I'm going to leave the pi in there, all right? Because most of the time, not necessarily every time, but most of the time when you see pi in an angular measurement, that is going to be radians. So I'm going to simplify this part right here. Cross out the tens, the zeros. 6 over 18, 6 goes into 18 3 times. So this is, the radian measurement is equal to 1 third pi. Or also, most people will write it as pi over 3. So pi over 3 radians is the same as 60 degrees. All right, so pi over 3 radians and 60 degrees, they're the same angle. It's just down here we're talking about that angle in radians, and up here we're talking about that angle in degrees. All right, so let's find another one. Let's say I've got, we'll put this down as pi over 6 radians, and I want to convert that into degrees. So once again, I get my ratio here, and I put the degrees in the top, and that's what I'm looking for now, so I'll use the variable d, and then I will put the radian measure right here. Okay, so cross multiply, I get d times pi is equal to 180 times pi over 6. I'm just going to do some simplifying here. 180, so this is 180 over 6 pi, and 180 over 6 is 30, so this is 30 pi on this side. Yep, and so degrees times pi. Whenever you have the same amount on each side of an equal sign, you can cancel it. It's the same thing as just saying, I'm going to divide both sides by pi. So this becomes a 1 right here. Divide this side by pi, and this becomes a 1 right here. So the degrees are 30. 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is equal to pi over 6 radians. So that's how you convert between the two. Often we just leave, when we're ending up with radians, we just simply leave the pi in the radian measurement. And most of the time, like I said, most of the time, when we are given a radian measurement, it'll have pi in it, and usually the pi from the measurement will cancel out with the pi in the ratio, or the rate rather.